Hey everyone, welcome to episode 1 of 0 Hour. 0 Hour meaning the time of execution of an operation or the countdown of an event, like the end of the world. So we'll see if I freeze up and just destroy everything right now. As we are live, you get to experience all those mishaps with me. So my name is Jackson Fisk, and 0 Hour is where we talk to business professionals of many industries to learn their stories, tactics, and procedures in business and life to share them with you. So my first guest is going to be Mich Cammidge of Mich Cammidge Coaching. Mitch is a savage in business coach, broker of certainty, and entrepreneur. Mich Cammidge has a simple life mission: amazing lives, extraordinary businesses. He's a business coach for 300 plus extraordinary business owners and a member of thousands of growing people. Mitch has been a keynote speaker of the Harvard Business School of Business, a multiple speaker events across Canada and the US, and he is a visionary of Mich Cammidge Coaching and Syndicate.org. Savage in business, he is a father, husband, driven to build global impact with local results. Mitch believes businesses need to be simple in design, elegant in its operation, and repeatable in its systems. Anything less is unacceptable. Mitch says, I want the whole world to learn how, or wants the whole world to learn how to run a business. So let's get started. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Jackson, what's up, brother? How you doing?
It's going, man. I'm in Gotham, so rocking it, hanging out with Batman. But thanks for joining me today. Hey, did it work out?
Beautifully. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome, man. So thank you for joining me and actually being the very first guest on what I'm calling 0 Hour, in hopes to educate businesses and help people out, because let's be serious, how many people actually knew how to start a business?
little, very, very little, very little. Do you want me to answer, or is that just an out loud thought?
Well, that's an out loud thought, man. Like, I remember even through my career on all the things I thought I knew and then have no clue and then still learning today. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm not the only one. And I can't be. I hope not.
No, brother. I mean, it's simple. We fail a lot. You know, we fail in life. We fail a lot. 87% of businesses in the first 3 years.
Yeah,
that is a global statistic. And depending on where you are in the kind of marketplace or industry that God help anybody trying to make any headway in oil and gas right now, or industrial manufacturing, right? I mean, that's where a lot of your background comes from. But 87% in the first 3 years, only because we don't know any better. We just don't. We're good at something. We're a welder, an accountant, a professional salesperson. We like marketing, whatever it is. We know how to technically do something, and then we decide to start a business. Well, guess what? That's a brand new job. It's a brand new task list. It's a brand new skill set. And so we don't pick it up very quickly, and we fail a lot. And it doesn't shrink. Whoa, I made it 3 years and I'm safe. No. You're 5 and 7. You're going, okay, I got to fail 2/3 of the time. Okay. And then you go to 10%, you're going to fail 97 times out of 100. So It's a thing. You got to learn how to do it. And if you don't, you're screwed.
I remember like the first book I read on business was probably the E-Myth, right? Talked about the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm all of those. And then you realize, no, I'm not. I'm a technician. I'm good at what I do. Now I have to learn all of these things, right? And it doesn't matter how much you read, educate yourself. Well, it does. It helps, right? Every little bit helps, but you learn by failing faster. It's like, okay, that didn't work. Okay, let's get that out of the way and let's learn from there.
Great phraseology is fail up. right?
Yeah.
Well, that's pedantic and horse crap, right? Nonsense. No. If you're gonna fail, fall forward, right? And they talk about running marathons. Anybody that joined the army, fall forward, don't fall backwards. You fall on your back carrying a pack like that. If you're in the army, you're a turtle. You're stuck, right? Fall forward, because at least if you fall forward, your hands can catch you, and if you're on your hands and knees, you can keep moving, right? Same thing in business, is that if you're going to fail forward. What happened? What can I learn? How do I adapt? And how do I continue to keep moving from there? And what do I have to change to make sure it doesn't happen again? Because a lot of these lessons you might only get one shot at. So repeat performance is not, the financial, never mind your mental welfare. The stakes are so high that fail once, but fail moving. And if you can, learn the lesson it takes to never repeat that problem again.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So let's get into it. Like, at this time, right, there's so much uncertainty, and the amount of people I talk to and business owners of just not knowing what to do, right? I talk to people every week, and even when we talk about health and safety, right? Hey, what are you doing? Everyone's afraid to act, right? They don't know what's happening with the economy. They don't know about reopening. They don't know what to do, and we're all just trying to figure it out. And so there's that fear setting, right? Like, people are afraid to move forward, and yet other businesses are striving, right? So let's talk about that right now. So what have you seen? What's happened in business during this pandemic?
What's unique is that the conditions for business haven't changed an awful lot. Our outside world has. We can't interact and meet face to face. A lot of people will tell you, and let's take a North American, lens on this, if you will, or even Alberta, our local marketplace. A lot of people will tell you, if I can look somebody in the eye or I can shake their hand, I know I've got a deal in place. Yeah. That's been tossed out the window. My ability to meet with my clients, on a regular basis, that gets tossed out the window. Everything can move digitally. Even construction, where a lot of people have to show up visually, physically to walk through places, doesn't need to happen the way it used to, and my need for my employees. So those are the conditions that shifted, but business itself has not. The market is more desperate, but what do we call the last 5 years? 2014 oil and gas downturn happened, right? And in Alberta and in other places in the world where there would be a lot of industrial manufacturing, oil and gas heavy, we've been on a wartime footing since then. There's very little to go around. That means other industries thrive. We're looking at that right now. What it did mean is that we've had to move much quicker than we're comfortable. That's been a big adjustment for business owners. And those that have adapted, in other words, sending their employees home, starting to communicate digitally, pushing from their marketing, in other words, their advertising marketing, using the online world, communicating with people differently. Zoom, through StreamYard for this broadcast, LinkedIn, etc. That's where our market is moving to, ours, but other places in the world, they're already there. So that it's business as normal. We're merely making adaptations in the tools that we deliver, but not major in business. There's still business to be done. And they're going, well, there's failure. They're saying 30%, 40%, 50% failure. That has to do with adaptation. And merely by adopting the current conditions as they stand, but not having to change the mechanic of what you actually do. People still need shoes. They still need clothing. They still need hats on their heads. They still need a roof over their head. They still need heat. They're still going to want air conditioning. They're still going to want a pool or a hot tub. They're still going to want a car. They're still going to want to go to work. They're going to need groceries. They're going to need any number of different things. All these businesses must adapt to the conditions we're being set in front of. But that just means an adaptation. Otherwise, business still largely transacts. You could prove this by the fact that Starbucks and McDonald's didn't go under. Well, they're major corporations that got bailouts. McDonald's and Starbucks didn't get bailouts. There's auto industries might, airline industries might. They've had to scramble very much. But the amount of time taught them some lessons about business, but the conditions under which they could still operate largely are unaffected. There's still going to be people sitting in seats on planes. There's still going to be cargo underneath. There's still going to be buses and 53-foot trucks traveling to and fro from warehousing to market centers, bases, drop-off spaces. Our ability to congregate in the tens of thousands cheek by jowl is going to shift, but that's not going to change being able to have open-air events. It's not going to change sporting industry. There's still going to be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of people tuning in for as many different professional sports playoffs as we have coming up. So none of those went away, but we have to adapt to the shift in the conditions because we just all can't touch each other anymore. So yet here we sit right now talking to each other right now about the conditions of business and what's changed for either of us. We can get off this call, go on LinkedIn in the next 10 minutes, talk to somebody brand new that may potentially do business with either of us.
Yep. Yeah. And it's funny, when the downturn started happening, well, in Alberta years ago, I looked at adapting and going, okay, how can we do this differently, right? How can we provide service to our clients and professional, in a different way? So it's funny because, you start looking at that adaptation and I go, holy crap, we're already set up for this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
You still got to figure it all out, but it gets that thought process going of how can we change our business, right? We don't have to be stuck in a traditional mindset. Yeah, there's aspects of our operations and our manufacturing and construction that we don't got robots to build it for us yet, and we still need that manpower and we need the application. But there's different ways to look at our processes and procedures they can streamline to keep us going.
Yeah. So let's back up to 2014 for a moment to talk about adaptation. Oil and gas got its teeth kicked in. Industrial manufacturing did as well. Failure rates were 30 or 40% in that market, where they're talking about business failure at 30 or 40% right now. And yet you still saw businesses, both big and little, that not only stuck it out, but continued to adapt. And what I mean, and in conditions for today, they moved quicker to communicate with their current clients and customers. They moved quicker to communicate with any of their potential clients and customers. They moved quicker to talk to any of their former clients and customers. They moved quicker into the marketplace, advertising, marketing, or just saying, hey, we're still here, doors open. They adapted when it came to their pricing model. In other words, we're going to be flexible to work with you. We're going to take longer payment terms, different payment terms, et cetera. They started to shift the way they did business. Some companies said, I don't want to let valuable people go. So they started job sharing programs, and we saw a shift in labor standards here that allowed for that. More job sharing. EI, employment insurance, became a part of the landscape there, where this person works 3 days a week and this person works 3 days a week. I can't employ them for 5, but EI is going to help shore up the extra earnings. But now I'm keeping 6 days a week worth of production happening at a reduced level. So now my shop is open 6 days a week instead of 5. I can actually take on a little more volume than I did before. I have less labor costs, less operating costs, less lights on inside the building. So these things started to reduce it all. And the faster they did that, well, about 7% of businesses during that downturn grew by a little over 60%. The bulk of the market dropped by almost that same number. So you're seeing 120, 130, 140% difference in shift in revenue in that first year. And that whole downturn lasted about 22 months. And it was 16 months for the economic impact. Well, in those 22 months, businesses that dropped by almost 140% revenue, 60% one year, 60% plus the next. And yet those businesses that grew by 60 plus, 60 plus. So if you adapt and adopt, and you're the one moving much more quickly, again, adapt to the situation, take the current business as it stands, look at the little bit that needs to change, but otherwise continue to not just operate, but push out further. A lot of people are being really protective right now, and rightfully so. We don't want to lose everything we've built. But actually the opposite behavior needs to happen, is that you need to push very, very hard, because very few people might be buying right now, but everybody's interested in listening. And you will never get a better time to have somebody listen to you than right now.
I know, we're forcing people to listen right now. Well, if they want to.
Right.
So that's a good segue. So what are the major segments of business that you need to know and keep whole for like a strong foundation, especially at this time, right? Well, you need it at any time, but right now, what are the segments that businesses need to be focusing on to make it through this and to keep going forward?
Businesses only have 4 cornerstones, or 4 parts in there, right? There's the financial and the money component. There's just the way we mitigate time, employees, ourselves, et cetera, who's working on what and where, the actual structure of the business itself, operations, hiring, sales, marketing, et cetera, and then that long range planning. But the bits that have to be whole, that successful businesses long-term have made unassailable, I'll use the term bulletproof. Your cash flow. What's going on with my
Yep.
money? How much money do I have? How far is it going to get me? Where am I going to get more? When am I going to need it? That means that we're always in a what am I earning today attitude. Well, some of the most successful businesses on the planet have a cash first mentality, not revenue, not profit, cash. Apple was a great example for a lot of years until 2014. They had enough money to physically buy a giant pile of their competitors. Like they go to the bank, pull out all the money and go spend it. They preserve cash and capital. They were, successful businesses spend a lot of time thinking what comes next, planning on our business. It's a segment that has to happen right now. What are we good at? What can hurt us? What do we have to plan for next? The next one is sales and marketing. Sell and sell every day. Well, my business is too big. That's bullcrap. Sell all the time. Sell constantly. Always be communicating. Always be advertising. Always be marketing. Always be picking up the phone. Always be reaching out to people. Always be, going on digital talk shows. Always go on LinkedIn, right? But sell and market daily, hourly if you can. And lastly, have an understanding foundationally what those parts of your business, strategically, where I'm sitting now and where I'm going to, so that you're always only adapting what's going on with your business in comparison to where the end result is. How much money am I going to have? How many employees am I going to have? What size is my sales portfolio going to be at? Do I have to adjust suppliers or anything like that? Do I have really secure supply line for whatever it is that I'm selling? Is there any way to modify that? Can I cut costs, etc.? So to examine some of those areas. So if I watch my cash flow, organize the way I measure what I'm doing, in other words, my time, have a good solid plan to measure against where I'm at, and then of course sell and market daily. These are the unassailable bits, and these are the things that have to happen right now, or your business not only won't perpetuate, it'll collapse.
Yeah, and building those habits in. Like I know from building a business, and the foundation where we started, we went with an idea. We went, hey, let's try this. Okay, so we tried it. And then you go, okay, I got to figure all this stuff out. But you can get so beat down, with that, riding that roller coaster of, peaks and valleys. It's like, oh, we're doing really good. Okay, it's tanking. Okay, what do we got to do to pick this back up? And it was the habit forming. So, always be selling, always be networking. That's fine. I don't ever say I'm always selling, but I'm always networking, trying to educate, help, and where we can, because I can't be like the car salesman where it's like, hey, you should come get this, right? But I can always try to help educate people, and hopefully they'll see enough value in what we're doing that it creates conversation that we can end up helping them and solve a problem for them. And that was kind of the aspect of selling. But I know what you're saying, like LinkedIn, networking, marketing. We've talked about it before, consistency. And if it's not consistent, like I know my first couple of years, you try to be consistent. You go, oh, I forgot. Okay, I'll do a week's worth of stuff. Okay, then I don't touch it for a month. Well, you're not building any traction. It's just noise that people are going to look at. You might get a like, you might get something because your family and friends support you, but you're not actually doing anything.
I'm popular with my family and friends. Yeah, weird.
My mom thinks I'm cool. Right, Mom? If you're listening, where are you at?
and again, great approach, but it's not sell me this pen. It's not Glengarry Glen Ross, always be closing. That's not what I'm advocating when it comes to sales.
I know.
But it does mean that our behavior is always reaching out. It is always communicating. It's always opening doors, and it's always fostering relationships. If I can build 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 new relationships through this crisis, however long we're going to be at it, weeks, months, years. Everybody's like, it's going to be, no, it's not. The very smartest individuals, I'm a really smart individual in my industry. I don't for a moment presume to understand how long a global pandemic that can liquefy your insides is going to continue to run. I can't, but I can help you to understand what's going on with your business. And if I build relationships every day and I have a daily practice and a mindset to always, Jackson, what's going on with your business? How can I help? What can I do to be of service? This is what I do. This is what you do. Let's get to know each other a little better. Can we use each other? Don't know. But let's find out. If I have a daily habit and a practice of doing that, my business will grow. Because given enough time, if enough of us are doing that, we build our own, call it our own community, our own bubble in the marketplace. But as we do that, we start to attract more. And funny enough, if we're one of the only voices doing it, where do they come to? When the time finally comes for them to bust out their wallets, we're likely the only voice that's talking.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's a good segue. So, what should people in businesses be doing right now to protect themselves? Like what we've talked about it is, yeah, consistency, and but what should they be focusing on right now to protect their business, either grow their business or maintain?
Okay. So, simple behaviors. Look at your business and your personal bank account every day and make sure you understand exactly how much money you've got. Then every day when you're doing that, what bills do I have to pay next? If you don't have them somewhere, write them down, put them in your calendar, whatever it is. Now, how much money you've got, what money, if any, you've got coming in, and when you got to pay bills, so you always know how much money you're chasing. Okay.
Yep.
Next one, reach out and communicate with people every day. Communicate with your current clients, your former clients, and it's like, no, don't call your current client every day. Of course not, right? But go through it. It's like, I don't know, 20 customers that I'm dealing with on a regular basis. Great. Call 5 a day for the next week. And make it a practice every couple of weeks to follow up with them, see what you can do. How is it going? How can I help? What can I do? Anybody that was potentially there, hey, I know we're in the spot right now. Let's just keep talking. Clients that we used to have that never came back. Let's reach out to them and find out, first of all, what was their client experience like? Would they consider coming back? Will they refer, etc.? These are the elements of stuff that we have to do. That's part of selling every day, but that's also customer service.
Yep.
If enough clients come back and say, we're really happy with this, then you can get client testimonial. That's part of your marketing. You want to share that with other people because we equate value with complete strangers' opinions about things now on the internet. Weird how that works. The complete stranger says something that I agree with, I automatically think they're smarter than everybody else, and I'll trust their opinion. Well, same thing happens with recommendations and reviews for businesses. We trust complete strangers to tell us whether we should trust these people or not. So, talk to people every day. Have your business reach out to the marketplace every day. In other words, market. Put a pretty picture up, put some thought-provoking items, articles, find things from other industry experts, etc. Share those inside your business. Measure and monitor your cash flow daily and have a plan. If I'm here now and I keep doing this and I keep talking to 5 people a day, every day for the next month, and hell, I was only talking to 1 person a day before, ergo, my business might grow up to 5 times if it was a normal market simply because I'm doing this. Have a plan in place. What happens? Where would I need to hire? How busy would I get before I don't have enough time to talk to 5 people every day that I might actually need to hire in the middle of a global pandemic? So these are some of those things that you should do daily, every day, all day. And if this is all you did, find clients, take care of clients, get paid by clients, monitor and measure your cash flow. This is going to be a good repetitive behavior to have during a pandemic. It means you're always mindful of your money. You're always trying to sell. And at the same time, you're always being conscientious of where your business sits compared to where it's going. Am I getting there or not? If not, go back to the very beginning of this call, adapt. What do I have to do to shift so that I can keep moving instead of getting stuck in a spot and going, I don't know what to do, and I've given up.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm going to add, obviously, policy and procedure. Let's get a strong foundation. Let's get a strong foundation of policies and procedures that we can follow. So, hey, we don't have to ask questions. We know what to do.
Exactly.
But,
standard operating procedures.
Yeah. Everyone loves talking about those. Guess what? We're going to talk about them more. Awesome, man. So, I know we're kind of short for time. I'll leave it at that. I think there's a lot of good information that people can take away from right now. And, how are people going to get a hold of you if they got questions?
You want to reach out to me, I am available 24/7 on social media. It's actually quite simple. You can come to Facebook, facebook.com/Mitch Cammidge official. You can find me on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/IN/Mitch Cammidge. My name should be on the title. It's easy to get a hold of me there. You can find me on Twitter @Mitch Cammidge, on Instagram @Mitch Cammidge. You're sensing a trend here, a theme? It's actually
I got the same kind of system going, I think. But
so it's easy to reach me, and that's the best place to get a hold of me. You can go to my website, mitchcammidge.com, but find me on social. Hit me up on LinkedIn and on Facebook. I respond. I get back to people right away, and I'm happy to open up communications and answer questions. You're stuck, get at me. It is my job to literally help business owners when they don't know what to do, point themselves in the direction that they need to go.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit with us and talk with us, and hopefully some people get to take away some insights, and hopefully we'll do this again.
Absolutely. Jackson, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for the 14 people who tuned in and the comments. Lorette, yeah, this is definitely taking care of Gotham. Thought I would change it up from the classy background that I had because no one believes I can play the piano from my promo video. But I hope everyone got some value out of today. We're going to be running this show Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon. We're going to talk everything about safety, HR, business process procedures, highlight anyone who wants to partake. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments or hit them up on our social media channels. If you need any safety or any questions about safety or HR, we're always here to help. And thank you very much for tuning in. You can always check us out on our social media channels. Goal Zero, the simple way to manage safety, or Goal Zero HSE. I'll drop it at the end here. And thank you very much. I hope you got something out of this. Have a great day.